You have probably heard of the missing 411 cases, where people disappear from national parks and elsewhere, but are never found alive. Today I'm going to give you an insight as to where some of these people might be ending up. The Agreement by Elise. Looking back, I don't know what it was about her that made me so damn angry. Maybe it was the way she skipped down the hiking trail without a care in the world, teddy bear dangling from her little fist. She was alone, then singing to herself and picking handfuls of flowers to take back to her mummy and daddy. When her hands were too full, she jammed the flowers into her pocket and reached for more. She couldn't have been older than 6. That was it. There was nothing I detested more than a person gallivanting along, destroying the environment for their own amusement. The little monster had yanked up fistfuls of rare perennials and shoved them into her pocket like a wadded up paper. I decided that she would be the perfect candidate. Little Lily came to me without a fight, dressed in my park ranger uniform. She had no reason not to trust me. I extended my hand to her, promising that we would go find her parents and show them all the flowers together. Then I'd pick more for her and make her a crown. She climbed into my truck and I started driving. Lily didn't realize anything was wrong until I pulled into a vacant lot several miles down a dirt path. "Where are my mum and dad?" she asked. I shook my head. "They're not here." "But we were going to see my mummy and daddy." Tears welled in her eyes and I grimaced. "Shut up! Get out of the truck!" Lily shut down. She began screeching and crying loudly at my commands, and I could no longer contain myself. I hit her hard across the back of her head, and the little girl fell limp. She was easy to carry. I grabbed her unconscious body from the passenger seat and set off down the trail. The sun had almost completely set, and I was running late. Years of walking this path made it a breeze to navigate in the dark. It was a straight, narrow pathway, only travelled by a handful of rangers and locals. About 4 miles in, the trail hit a dead end and spat me out in a small meadow. It was already waiting for me, there in the centre of the field. It loomed over me, twisting its head unnaturally in response to the girl I carried. The thing had the head of a deer, flesh rotting and falling away from the skull. Its body resembled that of a man, but it was covered head to toe in matted brown fur. It stood on its hind legs, with legs bent backwards and claws like kitchen knives. A row of glistening jagged teeth and glowing amber eyes met me with approval, and I sat the girl down. "For you," I offered. It scooped up the girl greedily and turned to retreat back into the forest. "More," it said simply. So it went. For years I had watched quietly, angrily, while tourists destroyed the beautiful forest. Their selfishness made my blood boil. One night, I decided to do something about it, to teach some tourists a lesson. I kidnapped a young woman who'd thrown a car full of trash into the woods. She trusted me too, and followed me deep into the woods. When we were far enough in, I beat her to death with a chunk of granite, unable to contain my rage any longer. Over and over I drove the rock into her skull until there was no recognizable part of her left. But there was a body to dispose of, and I hadn't a clue how to hide it, so I dragged her deeper into the woods looking for a spot to dig. I didn't notice the creature watching me until I kicked the last of the dirt over her shallow grave. It eyed me from the other side of the clearing, as if considering what to do next, before stepping towards me with a growl. I froze in place. What the hell was that thing? As it approached me, I felt my blood run cold. I screamed, and in a blind panic, I held the woman's body down in front of me and scrambled away. The beast paused, eyed the corpse briefly, then picked it up and sauntered back into the woods. Shaken, I headed back to my cabin for the night to decompress from the day. Saving the environment and running into a monster all in the same day had left me frightened and exhausted. Everything was fine until later that night, when I awoke to the sound of a blood-curdling scream outside. I ran outside in my pajamas, gun in hand, to find the monster standing about 50 feet away from the front door. It stepped towards me, dropping a shred of fabric on the ground in front of it. I made an educated guess, and supposed that that was what was left of the woman. "More," it said, and then it turned and vanished. That was 10 years ago. We formed an agreement then. I would find the people responsible for destroying the forest, and my friend do away with them. As long as I kept a steady stream of litterbugs and pyromaniacs coming, I avoided being eaten. Its appetite had only grown in recent years, which is a problem. Recently, the State Parks Department made a decision to close the hiking trails around Kenosha Pass due to the recent rash of disappearances. On one hand, it means I've done my job. On the other, the Wendigo is hungry, and I have to feed it. I've had to expand my horizons. To where, I'm not telling. But the forest needs protection from the awful tourists, and my friend needs to be fed. Consider this a warning. That was the agreement by Elise. The next time you go to a national park, think twice before picking the flowers. The world is a very dangerous place. But remember, fear the dark. Subscribe for more and hit the notification bell for more stories for when I next upload. Good night.